Good evening everybody. Today I decided I wanted to do something more creative, and my usual way of expressing my creativity is by singing one of my songs. But today I decided to mix that up a bit because I don't really write songs anymore, but I do still write short stories. So I decided to read you one of them. This is a short story that I wrote for my creative writing course this year, and despite how much I love it, I've decided not to put it in my portfolio, so I thought I could read it to you instead. It's based off one of my childhood memories, but only very loosely, so don't feel too sorry for me. And also, the theme is Christmassy, but I couldn't be bothered to wait for Christmas to read this, so just gonna have to deal with the fact that it's about Christmas. I've got my little storybook here, and without further ado, this is a short story that I wrote called Letters to No One. Later on, when she was home from school, she watched her older sister write a letter to send up the chimney. Upon inspecting the large fireplace herself, she found that there was no magical portal to the North Pole, no fairy dust, not even a single snowflake that may have drifted down from Lapland, just a dark, endless void streaked with scorch marks and disappointment. "Aren't you going to write one?" her older sister asked with a sparkle in her eyes. Studying her sister's face, the little girl began to realise that she knew something that her older sister did not. Something that Eleanor, a girl she had believed was her best friend, had smirked at her from behind a blue scarf in the playground just that morning. "You do know Santa isn't real, don't you?" "Of course," she had replied immediately, and then went to the toilets to cry. Back in the living room again, she saw her older sister's face, waiting expectantly. In the pause that followed, the little girl made an uncomfortable decision. "Of course," she said again for the second time that day. But when she picked up the pen, she felt a horrible feeling in her tummy. It felt like it was snowing inside of her, and someone was pressing their hands around her throat. Something was advancing, but she wasn't yet sure what that something was. It was a vast openness, a feeling of being alone in a big empty house when it was dark outside. Pressing it all down, she watched her ghostly hand trace the letters across the page. It was like she was writing to somebody who had recently died, and she was still clinging onto the fading hope that maybe, just maybe, she would get a reply. And that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. I wrote it myself, clearly, I already said that. It's only based loosely off my own experiences, but I really like writing about my childhood memories because it gives me a basis to form a narrative, and then I can just go from there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do want to hear more short stories, let me know and I'll be sure to write some more, since I don't really have any others I can read you, because the ones that I do have I'm submitting for my portfolio, and I'm not sure if it's legal to share those now or ever. So yes, I'll have to write some more, I guess. I've had a good day. I hope your day is as good as it can be, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!